Juice, I was working on my gabba during that break. You've actually shrunk a little bit. You've gone much lower to the ground.
I think I hit my chair. I think I hit my chair when I was gabbering. But anyway, I'm going to stay like this because we got to play it off, man. We got to play it off.
All right, can you quickly run back that a cappella for me one more sec?
Yeah, I can't.
You can't?
I'll try. All right, ready? Because I do it all day. I do it all day. Send it. Do all day. I do it all day. Send it.
Nice. Nice.
I thought you were going to gabber.
I was, but then they put your single on, so I stopped dancing. So anyway, that didn't work as expected, but you have a beautiful voice. So let's move on to the next bit anyway. We're going to be talking about Chiefs and Pentanet, final game of day number 6 here in the DoorDash LCO split number 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you bloody ready? I know Rusty is, and Rusty, tell me why Chiefs is here to play.
I mean, I don't think Chiefs are here just to play back. I think they're here to win, and they definitely have been stepping up massively in this second split. Kisei in particular, alongside Liv, right, as the solo laners of the Chiefs have mechanically just been going nuts. They've been controlling their lanes very well. And overall, they've proven that they are a force to be reckoned with as a team. You know, this Blitzcrank Pocket Pink for bottom lane has given them a bit of extra aggression and flair where they were otherwise reserved and weak. And Swaith has been able to show that he has more of a depth in his champion pool in the jungle role than we would perhaps otherwise give him credit for, akin to in the playoffs when they made their run, right? So this Chiefs roster, I think, have hit their stride, and I also think they've hit their meta, where they've got a lot of champions that suit them very well, right? Like the Lee Sin for mid lane, the Set for top lane, and I'm pretty high on the way the Chiefs have been able to play so far.
Now, Skimmy, are we going to see a little bit of Kisei action again going up against Pentanet, or do you think that Pentanet is going to be the team to shut him down?
Hard to say. I think Kisei at the moment is just playing out of his mind, which is insane to say when a rookie player comes in and gets the accolades that he does and is able to prove that, you know, look, take notice of me, right, at such a young age. I think if he's not in his own head about things, he's able to pop off, then he definitely could look to try and emulate what he's been doing so far in this split and say, you know, PGG, you may have gone to MSI, but, you know, Chiefs are the team that are showing up to, you know, take first place.
Alrighty. Now, that's team number 1 of the conversation. Jubes, do you want anything to say about Chiefs before we start talking about Pentanet?
I reckon we move on to Pentanet. I reckon Pentanet's the team that we discuss.
Okay, well, here's the ball. Actually, I don't have a ball in anyway. Here, I threw it to you. Catch it. Tell me about Pentanet.
I've caught it, and I'll tell you what. This team is looking the goods again. I think they're slowly, you know, getting the quarantine cobwebs out, as I like to call them. You know, they had a little bit of a slow start to the LCO split too, but I think they're really finding their groove. Pabu and Chaz having some good performances. Biopanther being what is deemed by some people import ready. I know Pentanet management don't like that term being thrown around because they want to keep him till 2029, but
true.
you know, we're in that situation where he's just looking a little bit too good at the moment. And Praedyth and Decoy, whilst they've been having some rough lanes, they've definitely come out of lane and done the job, right? You know, particularly in this game, 0-2-0 Praedyth comes out of lane, ends up like 10 kills or something like that. And we can see here, it's off the bot lane playmaking. Pabu, again, on this Diana, probably needs to get his hands off that champion, if I'm being completely honest. And, you know, just as a unit, you know, they're doing everything together. They're playing the map extremely well. And I would still say to this point, they're the best team fighting team we have in the league.
Yeah, it just looks so good whenever they get their hands on the champs they want. It was interesting to see Biopanther on that Nocturne the other day, but still, you know, you're so used to him on like the Urgots and the big heavy champs, maybe even a bit of Set there brawling up a storm. But now going on to things that are a little bit more up in the action. Now, that brings us to the interview time. And Mr. Witherby, can I just quickly know who is going to be in the interview? Okay, so in the blue corner, we have Kisei. And then over in the red corner, you've got the man, the legend. He's got a bit of green hair up there, and his name is Pabu22. And Jubes, do you want to take us down to the ring?
Yeah, I got both my boys here, and that hair has just completely vanished on his skull. So first things first, I'm going to say hello to Kisei and hello to Pabu. Kisei, for those of the people that don't know at home, you're actually very famous on TikTok. Used to spam that in solo queue lobbies back in the day. And now that you're a professional player, talk to me. What have your aspirations been like, and how do you think you're kind of moving along in terms of your trajectory as a player?
I think I'm moving pretty good. Like as to where I was, as to where I like started before when I was playing with you. Like I've improved a lot, and yeah, if I make it one day as a pro player, I'll probably try to become famous on TikTok too.
I mean, you're already a pro player now, technically. So let's just clarify: you have made it.
Bigger, yeah, bigger than this.
Yeah, big. So bigger than you are on TikTok. Pabu. Oh, it's actually maybe the first time I've spoken to you on broadcast, so it's good to see you again, buddy. I think your hair's
good to see you
there. But how do you feel the Pentanet.gg? How do you feel Pentanet.gg have shaken off their quarantine cobwebs? Because it was a little bit of a slow start into the LCO. But how do you feel things are going now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still like, you know, we're still on the rise for sure. It's kind of a bit hard getting back to the swing of things. There's a lot of new things about this meta that we have to learn, and just like getting into the best space that we can be is like quite hard. Like making sure that we have good drafts is probably the most important thing for us, because if we have comfortable champions, we can always play the game, right? It's just making sure that actually occurs, which is a little difficult. So I think we have good drafts prepared for today, so hopefully we can make it a banger.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Kisei, don't get nervous because Pabu's here. All right, tell me, where do you see the Chiefs right now as a team? Are you the best team in the league? Are you the second best team in the league? What is it?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say I'm the best team in the league because I'm biased against my own team. But like, yeah, that's just what everyone would say, right?
All right. I mean, I don't know if I would have said that, but that's a big statement. Pabu, how do you feel about that?
It doesn't matter, so.
Well, like, every player has to have faith in themselves, you know. But
let me Kisei,
I think
that's
the Chiefs have been looking.
What you said to me 1 year ago.
Every player has to have faith in themselves, but the Chiefs look good, you know. Like Peace has looked extremely shaky, so I definitely am going to this game. There's no way we can underestimate them, right? They're a very strong opponent, so I think they're for sure one of the more challenging teams to play. And you know, it's like we have to truly be in our tip-top game, or else you know we can lose for sure.
Now, gentlemen, I'm gonna leave this one open, and let's remember to use our manners. Kisei, Pabu being the jungler on the enemy team, do you have any words for him before this game?
Just good luck and have fun, bro.
Oh, okay, that was a lot of manners I wasn't expecting. What about you, Pabu?
I guess it's the same. Like, I just want to win the game, you know. I don't need any fancy zingers or anything, you know. It's just the team who's going to win is going to win.
Okay, well, I really thought it was going to be like, hey, bro, I'm going to gank mid and you're going to die a lot or whatever. But, okay, that's how we're ending it. I mean, that was good. That was humble. I can't wait for Summoner's Rift. And just be careful, Pabu, because Kisei will post something on TikTok if he solo kills you. Let's go back to the desk.
Well, I'm glad I introduced that as a boxing match because there were some fiery words there initially, but I'm glad it was a handshake at the end.
They were fiery words at me.
Yeah, pure
not at anyone else.
Towards Juves.
Kisei just slam dunked me, man.
The ref got
He just let that
smashed.
sit. He's like, you don't matter. And then, wow.
Honestly, you've done such a great job this evening, Jubes, and then he hits you with that. Look, I think your opinion matters. That's all I'm going to say. I love you, big fella. Now, let's have a look at the predictions here as well, going into the final match of the evening. Are we going to have any spicy ones? Oh, already mixed on the front page. Rusty, I'll let you begin. Skimmy, you follow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, again, I see a world where Chiefs win, and I've said this about most of the games today about the team I haven't tipped. I see a world where they win, but I have too much faith in the ability of Pentanet against the Chiefs to be able to weather the early game and hit that team fight stride. Now, you know, the Chiefs do have to win team fights to win this game, and I just don't think they can keep up with Pentanet.gg.
Okay, Skimmy.
Yeah, just for the predictions get interesting, right? Because we've had favourites all weeks leading up to this moment here. I start to think that, you know, Chiefs have looked consistent where other teams, we've seen them be, you know, rightfully so in first and second and so on. But Chiefs, their current run of form is showcasing that they are deserving of their current first place position, that Kisei is playing a blinder, that Lived is able to weather the storm, whether that be strong side or weak side, and that Swaif is able to play tanks, carries, and just pop off as well. The team come together, even if it is a fully AD-centric composition that needs to snowball, they do snowball, and they do so convincingly. So I'm going to throw it out there and say I want to see Chiefs for the upset.
Okay, Rusty, you had your thinking face on there for a second. What's going on?
I've seen a lot of strong opinions on social media from Pentanet.gg about Chiefs, and I am worried that their bottom lane won't, like, if right now what PGG are focusing on is winning their bottom lane where they have been weak, then I actually just don't see, I see this being a clean shutout, right?
Okay. So, Jubes, you know, we're on the other page. You're on the Pentanet side of things. Elfish guy who can't defend himself is going for Chiefs as well. So, let's just pretend Skimmy's words are his, and Jubes, I'll give the floor to you for a sec.
I think that they're just too good in their solo lanes. And even where Chiefs are good, like Kisei, let's say Kisei has a blinder, Kaz is good enough to stop that bleeding. Like, he showed that even at MSI. I know it's a broken record, right? But, like, at MSI, he's versing caliber of mids like Crying and Unicorns of Love and whatnot. So, I think he's just showing that ability.
Thought of it, Juves, and you've named the 2 weakest opponents.
What? Crying?
Yeah, absolutely. The weak side Goblin.
If Cryan came to LCO, he might win the league.
100%. I'm just saying it's funny because every other mid laner that you could have named is better than those two.
I did, yeah. All right, I could have said Perks, but that's NA and that's also a wildcard region.
Look, I just want to point out quickly as well, I decided to sit up a little bit straighter because right now we've got this stair formation going on here with the 4 of us. Jubes is just so damn short over on the end, and I had a little giggle at that. But it's almost time for Champ Select. I think we may be going straight towards it if it's ready, so I might see you, I might not see you. But what matters is we've got some sick content. We've got Pentanet interviewing themselves, and this is just part 1, so stay tuned for part 2 as well.
I want you guys to both hold the clap up.
You can do the honors.
I'm slamming it down. Yeah, and I want you guys together to say team interview with Pentanet, Chaz, and Decoy. When I count to 3, right? Alright. 1, 2, 3.
Team interview with Chaz and Decoy.
Who's someone in the league that you genuinely disliked at first, but now you like?
I used to flame this guy. When was it? 2018? 2019?
Yeah, it was a legacy. I remember you told me how to play Oriana.
Was it 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. I used to flame this guy, and now we're kind of mates. You know, kind of. So, not really, but.
But we're mates.
So I'll just say this guy. Who has the biggest ego on the team, and
Jackson.
why is it you? Jackson? Am I probably actually?
Yeah, there it is. Jackson.
Why?
It's Jackson, then me. Actually, maybe it's
no,
Mark.
it's Jackson, then Mark, then you, then me, then Brandon.
Well, actually, the thing is, like, I just don't vocalize my ego as much as the others.
Yeah, but you're still second. And if you did, you'd be first. Just to clarify, it's Jackson, then you, then Mark, then me, then Brandon.
What is it like laning with Praedyth?
Well,
That's fantastic.
Those are some fighting words there, Rusty, to try and summarize what their bot lane matchup's been like. As we already mentioned, you know, sure, the laning phase hasn't been as strong as we've come to know them, but especially when it gets into those team fights, they are the team to beat.
There's a lot of good banter in the PGG squad, and it's funny listening to Chaz talk about his own ego. He's so self-aware that he's like, come on, man. Like, I have the biggest ego here, except for Babu. And I can tell you as well, just before we get into Champ Select, that I've played with Praedyth enough. And I've played with Praedyth in Clash while he is playing with Diana DSN, their sub. And I hear a lot, all right? I hear a lot of the communication that he says being an AD carry, and I can't imagine playing with it for long term. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's see. How does this draft open up? Because this is a battle for first position. This is the closest start to a split that we've had yet. Yet to really see this one blow open as much as it did in split number 1. Bear in mind, this time in split 1, Pentanet was sitting pretty at the top of the table, 8-0, undefeated with the Chiefs tied in 3rd position. But this today is a game that will mean that going into week number 4, we will definitively outright know who is the best team in the league so far.
Yeah, and already we've got 2 picks about to be locked in. I assume that, oh, okay, it's not. It's going to be the Evelynn instead of the traditional meta option of the Diana. Right now, Lee Sin is obviously a high priority champion, and in the hands of Kisei is something that I think in like the start of week 2, I said is probably a must ban, just from him, right? Because his Lee Sin's actually so good. And then when I was a bit more retrospective on it, he did int a lot trying to follow up those Qs that he shouldn't have, so there's risks involved, and could be able to punish it. On the other side of the coin here, the team that said, don't pick this trash champion because it's not good and no one can play it here, they've picked that champion of the Gwen. And they're going to put the Nocturne with us. The Nocturne obviously high priority, now waiting to see where they go for their third.
Interesting talking point, isn't it, right? About this whole Gwen situation where teams say it's not that good, where different regions, be it West and Eastern, start to say, well, we like it, we don't. What does it mean when it comes to the LCO? Pentanet have locked it in. The Kaiser's been put in place there too. A favourite here for Praetor. Same could then be said here for Mboma, who, despite the meta really playing towards the Ezreal, he even himself has said, I get bored of it at times. I want to play other stuff, and he certainly has. But opting for comfort here today.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of comfort so far besides the Gwen. That is definitely one of the key words that I would be using here. Eve is Swade's comfort zone.
Yeah.
Ezreal is the most comfortable I think we've seen Mboma besides Heimerdinger. And it opens up a breadth of options for Dragku, just a wealth of choices for what type of support he would like to play. Being on blue side, they will most likely have to blind pick one of their champions, and I think that Dragku will be able to see the support of PGG as their fourth pick on red side. So he'll get a good choice here. Just looking towards PGG's side of the coin, the Lucian going to be taken away. I like that. You've got the possibility with Viego already gone to just get rid of physical champions from solo lanes. Zed has been a ban so far. I don't think we'll see that one. But champions like that, right? Set gone, Viego gone, Lucian gone. Really limiting the options.
What else have we seen from Kisei so far? It has been the Yone as well as the Silas, but later one being the AP champion selection, as you mentioned. Worth noting that Lucian Brom, pretty strong pairing, but in this occasion, they're going to be looking to try and deny away not only the oppression from the damage, but just the protection to ensure that if Chiefs do try to match the skirmish power that Pentanet put together, that they won't be able to come ahead with an advantage.
Yeah, and what is Braum good into, right? So you've got like Gragas and Ornn as two champions that the door legitimately counters. What it also provides is stun and crowd control for the bottom lane and helps in auto-attack based composition. So they're getting rid of the Braum, which is a really good safety net for a competitive game. And even if they could win a 2v2 against what could have been a Braum, which is definitely possible with any champion that can force priority in lane, it wouldn't be a Lulu or a Karma, obviously, as they're both banned, but two good examples of it. They're just not going to deal with it for the composition.
The Nautilus locked in place here for Decoy, looking to give themselves a lot of kill pressure in that bottom lane. As for the Chiefs, what we've seen so far from them when they've had this Ezreal, it's been paired with the Lulu, it's been paired with the Leona. Both of those are banned. Last season it was paired with the Rel. Let's see what Dragku decides to go for, and there it is, if by magic.
Magic of statistics. Skimmy's a madman. He knows all those numbers. Rel's a good lock-in, though. I do like the Rel. Nautilus provides you with a way in. There's a lot of low range on the side of Pentanet.gg as well already, right? Nocturne and Gwen both being melee champions. Kaiser that wants to ult into the back is not going to be kiting from range. The Rel has a lot of choices for things that you can hit. As they've just locked in Tryndamere for Liv.
Wow. That just completely derails the conversation right there.
That's, look, it's physical damage. Is it in the Gwen? We don't know where it's going yet for PGG.
Bit of a fun fact here, when Parby played for Gravitas a while back, his introduction was as a top lane Tryndamere before he made the role swap towards the jungle, and then just by coincidence we saw the ban away early in the day in the Mammoth Gravitas matchup with the Ziggs. And to round out week number 3, we now have a Ziggs on full display. Two very spicy picks to round out this draft.
Yeah, 100%. Now, we'll get to the Tryndamere. Most Tryndameres won't run teleport, so that's the first most important thing. Ghost enables them to have more sticking power. You could go Ignite if you just need extra damage for some kind of trades. Ghost is the most common that I think we'll see for any Tryndameres, and this is maybe the only one that we'll see, but it's possible. Ziggs is the last pick for Pentanet.gg. Now, it forces priority in mid lane. Ziggs has recently seen a couple of touch-ups and some buffs. The ultimate movement's projectile speed, and the Q base damage has gone up by a total of 20 at max level.
Yeah.
I'm a Ziggs player, and I feel like if I was against a Lee Sin, I would be having a great time until I was having a terrible time. And I feel as though when I'm against an Evelynn and a Lee Sin, from level 6 onwards, I'm having a terrible time. So I'm just like buying a tier, and I'm sitting at 1,300 units away from them, I'm just throwing Qs, right? Just sitting back and throwing Qs as safely as I possibly can, because there's no real safety net for you against the enemy 2v2.
So, well, obviously, we'll get to the Tryndamere in a second and try and figure out what that's all about. But the Ziggs, you know, commonly we've seen it with the pairings like the Camille or even the Galio, looking to try and lock you in place and guarantee, you know, the Mega Inferno Bomb will get as much value as possible. Not to forget the Satchel Charge and how they can look to try and destroy turrets. What do you think, if we're trying to figure out here the idea from Chaz is it just to try and give yourself a little bit of poke and engage?
I think, first of all, Ziggs is quite good at the moment. So let's just take that into consideration. I think Ziggs is actually a fairly strong champion in its current state. You've got Nautilus for lockdown, certainly. You've also got Nocturne turning the lights out. So it's really hard to deal with Ziggs throwing damage at you when you can't even see more than half your screen away from yourself. So they've definitely got some comboing there for it.
Let's see. Maybe one man that can look to try and help us figure out some answers here is the coach of Pentanet in Charlie. Mate, I mean, you couldn't ask for more to close out week number 3, right? They hit you with the curveball of a Tryndamere and you answer back with a Ziggs.
Yeah, we were not ready for the Tryndamere pick, honestly. After they locked it in the call, it was a bit of silence after they picked it, like, what do we pick now? But a couple of my players have seen it in solo queue, and we had a general plan, and we spoke about it. But yeah, it's interesting. I'll be excited to see how the game goes on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, ever since you've come back from MSI, we had the conversation initially about, you know, what were the learnings, the takeaways, and so on. And whilst you've only dropped one game so far, it seems like this has been a really close start to the split. You know, do you put much importance on this game to say we need to finish this week with first position, or is it still very much a case of plenty of time to play for, no drama?
I think it's a combination of both, right? Like, the individual games in the grand scheme of things mean nothing. It's all about seeding, and we're confident we'll win playoffs regardless, but it is important that we find our form and we develop some momentum and confidence going forwards. Winning this game would really be awesome for us, just because Peace obviously have dropped some games themselves, so it would lock us into first. I think it's we should take home the win tonight, so it should be good.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is your assessment in it, Chiefs? Are you surprised that they're up there with you, Titan first?
I am a little bit, yeah. I think their players individually are showing off on the current patch, specifically like the jungle and mid are finding ways to pick champions that they love to play and show off on them, whereas other teams are drafting somewhat suboptimally at times. I think Chiefs have a decent graph of the meta, not perfect, but I think that's a large reason as to why they're doing well.
No doubt. And on a final note, before I let you go, tell me a little bit about this Gwen pick, right? We've barely seen it in the region. Only Direwolf's looking to try and showcase what it's all about. It seems like Parvu is one to say one thing and then pick it, you know, moments later.
Yeah, you're right. Jackson does love to flip-flop on picks. I believe what happened is he came to me yesterday or this morning and he said, I want to play Gwen, so I've locked in the Gwen champion. But no, I think this champion is really good. You can flex it in 3 roles. We can flex it in 3 roles. This game, we decided to give it to our jungler. It can get through the game, especially versus champions like Diana that don't really do anything, and Evelyn as well, who doesn't really do anything until level 6. You can kind of just free scale the Gwen, and then she functions really well in the team fights that are really close. So she works really well into bruises that she can just sustain and heal off of. She does struggle into some champs like Ezreal, but against the enemy top side, Gwen should have a really fun time this game.
Beautiful. Well, mate, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. I wish you boys the best of luck, and hopefully this game proves to deliver.
Yeah, thanks, Kimmy. Hope it's a good game.
All right, Rusty, there you go. Been a bit of action already that's taken place in this game. No first blood, thankfully. The interview curse isn't real here, but yeah, so many different picks to really highlight and get excited for.
I don't even know where to start with a game like this. We'll hold starting anywhere.
Charm connects. And that's all I need to say.
What do we do? Yeah.
Chiefs getting first blood.
We'll start top lane. First blood goes the way of a Swaith, which is perfect. Lived is still going to be fine top lane, even in farm overall. There's a big wave that's going to be crashing, and Biopenta still has the teleport. So he's going to be able to get back to that wave at the very least. So I guess we work top to bottom in curveballs that were thrown at us in this last game, Skimmy. The first thing is we've got a Nocturne top lane who has gone for Ignite teleport. So he has gone for the Gwen runes. Obviously, it's going to be quite important for trading against the Tryndamere. It helps you basically secure execute when Tryndamere ults, right? Because he'll go to 1 HP, and then afterwards he'll be able to heal up a couple of hundred health and maybe keep trading with you. That's not going to be a factor here at all. it also could mean just a bit of extra kill threat to force his ultimate. So I like the idea of the Ignite. It is going to be very hard to stick to a Tryndamere, though, if he chooses to disengage, just because he's gone for Ghost and Flash himself and has the constant dash that can come out. And I don't know if Lived has been watching any Nemesis streams, but definitely going to be dashing around constantly if he's a fan and doing as much damage as he can. So Lived on the Tryndamere. Now, it's a physical damage champion. I'm thinking, and I don't know this for certain, I'm thinking they picked it assuming Gwen would be going top lane, right? Or that Nocturne would be going top lane and Gwen mid, whatever they choose, but Gwen's the most likely victim for top lane, right? So you've got Nocturne mid, Gwen top, Tryndamere gets in close and personal and out damages any kind of healing you'd do as a Gwen, right? So I think they might have said, we've got this strategy cooked up, it's a hard counter, I'm good to go in laning phase, and they locked it in. And then PGG flexed Gwen to jungle. It may have been something the Chiefs have considered, but it's not something that I expected. I expected Gwen to be in a lane. And Ziggs was the last pick, Skibby. As if there was anything else that could be a curveball thrown into this game. You know what? There is something else. We're missing 2 flashes on PGG's side, and we don't have a teleport from one of the players on Chiefs. So it's really awkward lane assignments mid to late game.
Yes. Just so much to break down. Thank you for that. But you know what's interesting to me is across the last 3 patches competitively, we've only seen the Tryndamere locked in place 3 times. A definite niche, but Liv is looking to try and showcase what it can do. He's got the ultimate. The Endless Rage could be there to try and keep him topped up and healthy as he gets low and he's dying. There it is, Undying and flashing forward to try and get the killing blow. Spin to win, tops himself up, sidesteps the bomb. The Triumph connects, and he lives to tell Swaif jumping in on the execute. Hits you with the thumbs up for disrespect, and Chiefs looking so damn clean.
Both of those champions are insane at diving turrets. It was a good early teleport from Chaz, right? We give him credit where it's due, but beyond the teleport, they're just kited. They're just duked. They have no way of winning these skirmishes. Biopanther is just losing topside whenever Swaith is there. The dive starts early here, and Liv doesn't get forced to use his ultimate until the last second. Biopanther making sure that it was forced, but Lived has Flash and Ghost, and both of those summoners keep him alive here. Swaith being level 6, has the execute, Chaz flashes, but the direction of Swaith's ult. He's an Evelyn main, by the way. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Mastery of the champion on full display right now. We notice the player that loves to play carry jungle. Lived in a fair bit of trouble right now. He certainly seems to be the case. He might just get stolen here by Bio. He certainly will be. Everything going against him. Regardless of summoners, Bio knows the numbers.
Yeah, 100%. There's no way Lived looks to try and fight in that situation. Biopanther without Flash able to just walk up and fear him is pretty egregious here from the top laner of Chiefs. And that's a really important kill for Biopanther. Really important kill for Pensinet.gg. Give them something back in this game, as topside has been really rough until that point.
Wave crashing and denied away from Lived, but it will be Kisei to rotate through mid to top as the lane assignments actually swap, with the Tryndamere now redeploying onto the map in the mid lane to go into the Ziggs. Highlighting some of the talking points that you were mentioning as to what they were anticipating to be the matchups. And I suppose that really continues to be the headache as a drafting coach, with so many champions flexible in multiple lanes, trying to really outsmart and outthink what they're putting together as a full 5-man squad.
So one other thing here that does stick out to me is both teams. Diana's been a very high priority champion lately, right, Skimmy? And both teams had the option to pick the champion. Swaith hovers it until the last second and switches to Evelyn, and Parbu chooses Gwen. So both teams are missing a form of engage in their jungle role, which is something we've pretty consistently seen throughout the LCO so far, and through a lot of the world, of course, with Diana being a prolific champion. Now, instead of engage, you've got pick from the Evelyn, which is a soft form of engage, and you've got Gwen, who can use her ultimate to slow people down a little bit, like has some dashes, has some gap closing, but is going to be so heavily reliant on Biopanther. Sorry, not Biopanther, he's heavily reliant on Decoy hitting the mark on this Nautilus.
We see him running it through mid. There's Needlework looking to try and get the resets between those auto attacks. Unlocking the extra charges. Here's Swaith on the hunt right now. Invisible, locks in place Chaz. This is going to be a clean execute and a dash away. Another thumbs up, and this feels personal for Swaith.
Yeah, I mean, once again, very clean coming out of the Evelyn God himself. He's just going to be 3-0 running around, one-hitting everybody. This is, I mean, to be fair, we said this in draft. The choice of Ziggs as a last pick he's going to have to be sitting, how far back did I say? 1,300 units? Maybe it's more. Gets baited in quite simply just because Pabu finds a chance to engage. Kiso gets a little bit too close to a bush. But they don't have execute, and they are the ones who die for it. I mean, Chaz is now relegated to wave clear at best.
I want to return and pick up the conversation from your previous point, right, about the engage position, especially from the jungle. 3 games on the go was Pabu playing the Diana. Before that, it was the Udyr, as well as the Volibear. It definitely has been a player that says, I'll pick up the reins and lessen the burden onto Decoy, but it almost feels like they're buying into the aggression that the Chiefs love to play for, right? We notice the team that want to fight, when clearly very strong at that, but not sure if it's stronger in the jungle than it would be in the early laning phase.
Yeah, it's hard to say, like, to actually quantify, is it better in the jungle for any reason other than a lane? There's certain lanes where you'd have a hard time, clearly, and it can be put into the jungle role, maybe as a defensive measure. It'll still be fine, still scales up for some pretty good damage in team fights. The biggest thing, I think, for, like, the lack of engage is that it wants Chiefs comp to come at you, I guess, would be the best way to operate. And they will, right? Their comp definitely does have the desire to come towards you with a Rel, with a Lee Sin, with an Evelynn. But they may even not team fight at all to win. They may just side lane.
They're just going to pop that Ghost very early on there. Looked like he's in a bit of trouble, but despite the fear connecting, Decoy knows that's not going to be a fight that they can willingly take. A 2v1 was definitely on the cards there. Herald is summoned, and the Herald finds success.
First tower gone. You can see the total gold here right now for Chiefs being 3 of the top members. None of it going towards bottom lane. The ultimate weak side players, and Bomber and Dragku, just doing what they got to do, right? Don't die, and Chiefs are winning. And that's literally their game plan right now. As long as they continue to not die, then the Chiefs are going to continue to be winning in this game. That's very well rehearsed, very well practiced.
Yep.
So far, so good.
Players that aren't willing to buy into the hype. There's a dash and a Magnet Storm to lock in place Pabu. He's being caught out of position. He's invulnerable for the meantime, but soon to fall on down, and that just opens up the floodgates to say, you got the first dragon, but we'll get the second. Yeah,
Pabu is the most dead right there. The first 2 members to respond were the Chiefs, so there was no way out. It was going to be both solo laners of Lived and Kisei in the area. So top lane's going to take some damage, I believe a couple plates, maybe some farm at the very least goes the way of Biopanther. But he has to respect now as he sees through mid lane both solo laners of the Chiefs cross over. Goes back to base. And realistically, it's a dragon, it's a kill, and it's a reset as a trade for Pentanet.gg, and it's not worth it.
It feels like Chiefs to a T right now. Give Sway for carry jungle, give him the kills, the resources, play around him, and he certainly will deliver, and so far he is. 4-0-1, everything belongs to him. Wherever he goes, there is a fight that is soon to follow. And it's interesting talking about the bottom half of the map, right? Given the fact that Predator and Decoy haven't had the best success in laning phase, knowing that in Bomber and Dragku aren't going to be willing to entertain that idea and looking to try and play for the team fights later in. That's where we've seen Predator and Decoy continue to shine and impress. Does mean that Dragku is freed up to continue roaming around the map, offer protection elsewhere. The pressure has been alleviated for the meantime off Kisei, who's been having a stellar split too. Still very excited to see what this Tryndamere and Ziggs can accomplish.
Just quickly looking at most common builds for Tryndamere, just to see if it's insane or if it's normal. Gale Force is really the only built item. So it's going to be rushed here by the Tryndamere. Of course, an extra dash. Oh, hang on.
There's a bit of an all-in on towards Kisei, who burns the dash, burns the flash. Does not survive. Dragku there to offer a bit of protection. Didn't have the Magnet Storm, but it wouldn't have been enough anyway.
There you go.
It's going to be the PGG boys bouncing back.
Yeah, important kill at that, right? It may not be a shutdown on the Evelynn, but it is something going their way. It's playing around Decoy being the primary engage for them. And it's successful. It's not really at a moment in the game where something big can happen, Skimmy. It is just going to be the gold in the pockets, but they'll take that. And Praedyth getting gold, being the teamfight king. The AD carry position definitely going to be happy with that one. There's so much threat on the other side of the map, though. We'll see how much he's able to get done even with just a single kill. Just back to the original point. No, never mind.
You can turn the lights off, but we can still see you. Just find another kill. Punished by a Panther, a lack of a flash. An ultimate will not save you.
Look at where Bio is. Skibby, I didn't expect him to die there because he's sitting behind his turret. There's no wave even nearby. They are literally going so far past the minion wave just to dive this poor soul in top lane. And it's successful, so we give them that credit. But they didn't have a wave to push. Biopanther's up in 4 seconds and the wave's crashing now.
They're going to run it back again. They're going to do the exact same play twice. The charm, once again, there to connect. You're inside the circle. You're not taking any damage. The Infernal Bomb! Even though the missile speed is quicker, it doesn't matter.
It's not going to get there in time. All the way from mid lane, no doubt in my mind. Looking at top, once again, Pabu tries to attend to the wave, but there was really only 3 ranged minions that were going to crash, so it does make you wonder why he would go for that at all. They're able to pick him off once again. Rinse and repeat this strategy. Evelynn went ahead is one of the most oppressive champions in League of Legends because not knowing where she is terrifying. If she can one-hit everybody, and she can right now, probably even one-hit Decoy, then you have to respect it, but you can't place wards for it. So what do, right? You sit back that extra wave. You sit back that little bit further. Maybe you miss that extra minion. And consider that over a 30-minute game, you're just losing extra gold because of the champion that Swathe chose and how far ahead he is.
Certainly right. As with the 15-minute mark, it's the Chiefs that lead this game so far, up by 3k gold. Definitely finding success with comfort, but overall, the skirmishes are ones that they are winning. And subconsciously, PGG have to start being really scared about this and saying, well, what do we do? Do we just buy into this pressure? Or do we look to force and group up early, forget about the laning phase? And that's what they've done. 4 members mid, looking to try and take down the first turret in mid lane.
Teleports. I'm going to fight this one.
Okay, looking for it. Will he go for the wall kick? He will. The execute. Praetor gone. No Eddie carry. Switch survives again. The Inferno Bomb. It does not matter. This man has 9 lives like a cat. Surviving. Soaking. Draku. A lamb to slaughter. It's a 1-for-1. You'd much rather remove an AD carry than a support.
While true, I think I'd be content trading gold for gold at this point if you're Pentanet.gg. Getting gold into the hands of Pabu is going to be useful. And it does mean that it's not outright winning. There was also a potential with the way that the team fight ended. That PGG could continue to press forwards if they wanted to and maybe look for more. We've got Dragon in 10 seconds though. And Mboma's being an asshole of the correct kind. It's going to stop Decoy from recalling twice under his own turret. And so there's no way that a support without vision, there's no Dragon control then. Should just be Chiefs.
Times here for Mboma, who is running exhaust, worth noting. So no doubt looking to run the typical tank Ezreal build to output a fair bit of damage, but also just have the dueling potential to pretty much take on anybody from this lineup of PGG. The third dragon has spawned. Liv has fully rotated down to bot side of the map. Panther does have TP and a ward in the area. There's a very deep flanking TP in the bot try. Will they entertain that idea though?
Liv is quite low. It is possible.
Lights go out. The dragon is low. Will dash away. And that one across to Pentanet. He's showing a bit of discipline here. And just going to disengage away.
I mean, it's definitely a form of discipline. It was very disjointed in the way they went for the dragon. They could have had priority over the area. They could have maybe fought for vision control in 5v5, but they want to fight mid.
Certainly still wants it. Draku looking to try and lead the line so far. Locks in place Decoy. Kissei in trouble, getting soloed out here by Pub, but the Inferno Bomb goes out, but finds nothing. Liv going to soak up all the damage in the world right now. The ultimate goes out, but finally gets taken down. As Praetor jumps in there with a killer instinct, but it means it's a 1-for-1 trade. A flash away from Chaz. You can get the dragon, but the Chiefs can find a triple.
Yeah, Chaz with no choice but to flash at the last second there. The remount from Rel just looking to lock him in place for an Evelynn charm, and it would have just been lights out. Not having the Ziggs, that mid lane outer turret was probably in jeopardy. The correct decision to flash away. Now you're looking at Herald being taken by Chiefs here though, after the team fight win. And yes, Liv dies, but you'll see how much time he is able to purchase. And just like we said before, Decoy is not tanky enough to survive through Swaith's burst, so nobody is safe on Summoner's Rift. Pabu does his best, but he's just not tanky enough and will die immediately to the kick and the damage that comes out of the Chiefs.
Well, we've heard the hype here for Chiefs. Scrim's going well, the self-belief, the fact that they've grown exponentially from split 1 to 2, and it seems to be on full display here. That gold lead starting to balloon a little bit further ahead now. There's a few trades continue to scale up in their favor. That man on your screen there in Swathe, he's got himself another Herald right there. 100% kill participation at the 20-minute mark.
And quite simply, it's dive top, be successful the first time it happens, and look what happens in the rest of this game, right? They start the snowball early, and that's all it takes for these two champions. I'd call them solo queue champions for a reason. And it's because they can 1v9 when they get ahead, and they can just do really weird, abstract things that aren't standard. It's non-conventional to actually get those leads in the first place. So, Evelyn's invisibility allows that. Tryndamere's ultimate allows that. And so far, they've shown that they have got some mastery over these champions. The 10 Dark Seal stacks for Swaith could have been switched to a Medjai's at any point, but he's choosing to rush the Death Cap instead, which is respectable, perhaps expecting that he will just die at some point.
The ultimate is going to pack such a punch at this stage. We saw what Kioste was able to do on that LeBlanc. I think we're going to start to emulate that just scary nature of what an AP player can bring to the table in that. Much like you said, it's an invisible champion. PGG just unsure how to find those engage angles.
Yeah, Pentanet with a couple invisible champions of their own, just not of their choice. Definitely having a roughie overall. They've still got a big Kai'Sa, okay? Hasn't won lane by any means, and Bohm is still coming into his own. He's going to be a pretty large Ezreal overall. But the Kai'Sa's big, the Nautilus is there. The damage composition that Pentanet.gg have, if they're able to layer, you know, Praedyth hitting the same person that a Ziggs is ulting, which is entirely possible when Biopanther turns the lights out, is something to watch out. But will he survive now is the question.
Khan is there, looking for the one shot. Good ultimate away, but he's locked himself in a stasis. He's going to flash away, receives the shield, survives, finally falls on down. It's Biopanther that picks up the all-important shutdown, and Libnin diving the back line, looking to try and emulate what the opposition just did to him. There's Kisse with the roundhouse to the face, knockout Chaz to make him 0-3. It's still the Chiefs trading up positively.
Yeah, because they're going to hold the wave as well between turrets to make sure the minions crash as fast as possible. A nice team fight victory once again from the side of the Chiefs. There was a moment there where you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, Swaith is going to die. Tryndamere's ultimate's about to expire. I think they're about to shut them all down, and Kisse comes in and just shuts the door on that possibility completely. And they're able to once again win another team fight. That's back-to-back fights being pretty successful overall. And it starts with a hook hitting and a lot of damage going on to Swaith. Flashes away, but it's not going to get him away from the fear from Biopanther, but it does mean that Biopanther legitimately has to end himself for that. And Decoy, as he flashes the wall to try and hit a Q, brings the Lee Sin Q over with him, and is able to enable the shutdown there on the chat.
14 kills to 5. That's how Chiefs find themselves in this game so far. Not a scoreline that Pentanet will be too familiar with, at least domestically anyway. Which is a game that has had a whole bunch of spice thrown at it in terms of creativity and outplay potential. Start to break off into those side lanes. Chaz going to opt to play top side. See how we can look to try and find success with this pick. The Inferno bombs, whilst good, have yet to really find the explosive nature that they demand.
Yeah, it has to be actively hovered by Nautilus, which means that Praedyth has to play safely in mid. And again, that's the Evelyn tax that you're seeing. Rift Herald going to be summoned for bottom lane, should just charge at the outer and basically take that down. Just a quick glance says maybe it's one hit away, but Lived will secure that one in a hot second regardless. Yeah, nailed it. It was about one hit away. I've played too much League of Legends, Skimmy. There's no Herald on ARAM, so you might not know that one, actually.
That's true. A bit of an ARAM goblin. Played far too much of that mode. Literally the only mode I played all the year.
Too many ARAMs on Azeroth.
Yeah, well that too. If only.
Not if only.
I start to wonder, how do Pentanet find themselves back into this one? Because by no means are they completely out, but the gold lead has steadily been working in Chiefs' favor. 5k now for them to start talking about. Control over multiple areas of the map, much like a Camille, Jax, Fiora, to name a few in terms of split pushes. Lived is offering so much in the side lane, but also in the team fights.
Lived isn't offering a teleport, though. And if there's one thing to consider, it is that Biopanther is consistently hovering. He's been spotted by Swaith for what it's worth. Swaith's able to be the ultimate in moving wards that will one-hit Praedyth if he is not careful. But he is able to spot the Nocturne hovering, and you can see the Chiefs are able to play accordingly to that information. It's really smart play. It's really a good use of just an Eve in general. And from this position, right, Lived is able to actually play properly in split pushing and side laning. But, like mentioned, he doesn't have teleport. Nocturne can be anywhere instantly, and it means that Chiefs have to be super respectful with the rest of the map. No snap decisions can be made without Lived being fully aware.
Exhaust. The execute does not find two people, but that works wonders. That's a beautiful combo between the bot lane of the Chiefs, locking him in place for an easy true shot barrage. Now Liv dashing into the backline, forget about a TP because I've got a ghost and I can run you down with my ultimate on blast. They take down 4 people and lose no one.
It's clean and it's easy here from the Chiefs. They have Petsonet.gg absolutely downloaded. There's 3 ranged minions that they're looking to threaten the end with, which means they'd have to tank. I don't necessarily think they'll be able to do that, so they're going to wait for this next wave and maybe they respawn in time, but it's unlikely. Chiefs looking to win.
Certainly are. 25 minutes on this game, and they are looking to try and end this one. The respawn time is still waiting. Habu in a 1v5 situation. What can he do? He buys time with the Zonias, but now the Nexus itself is exposed. He'll fall down. So does that. Dragu hits the flex in the cam. And boy, oh boy, did this league just get a fraction spicier. The Chiefs, they are the team that will end week 3 undisputed first place.
I mean, we compliment the individual players of Lived, of Kisei. Today we can compliment Swaith as well, right, for his mastery of Evelyn, their ability to play the map around that. And that has shown us 3 individuals that do all the work for the Chiefs, right? You've got your weak side Titans down in bottom lane who haven't really needed to do anything else because it's a working recipe for the Chiefs. And as of this moment, they are outright first place on the standings.
Well, they most certainly are. And Mac, look, we've got a lot of celebrities in this league. We've, for Peace, you know, obviously got Draft Lord, but you look at this and you look at Kuden and what he's put together and you say, take a bow, mate.
Mate, I'm just looking for a bit of sense, a bit of understanding of how, you know, a Tryndamere being locked like that is going to throw everyone off enough that it just bloody works. That initial bit of brilliance that we saw in that top lane with the dive and the double kill from the Eve and Liv, this one that I'm talking about right now, getting those level 6 power spikes just in time. Swaith, he just barely pops it and is able to go back for seconds onto Chaz. So it was just, you know, crazy timing, at least in the first fight here. And then from there, Chiefs knew exactly what they had to do to stay in the lead, did that, and then won the game in 25 minutes. I did not think, again, I've said it earlier today and I will say it again, that this is how the game was going to be going. But Chiefs, after everything's said and done on day 6, are now at the top of the standings. That's completely crazy to think about. I wouldn't even call it an upset. You know, we gave them a decent amount of a chance in this matchup. You guys were talking about it, not knowing which way to actually put your predictions. But a big congratulations to Skimmy and Elfish Guy for choosing it. I too would have been there with the underdog, you know, in quotation marks, pick. But Twitch chat, you let me down again. You went for Pensonet, you bloody... You're all biased. You're all biased. I just want some predictions right today, and I'm not getting them. It's crazy. Anyway, Rusty, absolutely nuts. And it was almost 10k gold diff at the end as well. Did you expect this to happen?
I didn't expect it the way that it happened, right? I think that like the ability to pick pocket picks is something that the Chiefs have going for them. Even that top lane fight, Mac, when you mentioned experience, Evelyn got 6 from the first kill. And the reason the dive happened was because it was level 6 to 5 between top laners, and that's what they wanted to do. So, I mean, it was a risky decision. I think the Chiefs, we can say, pretty fairly made a risk with their draft, but it paid off, and when it pays off big with the champions that they picked.
Yeah, and Skimmy, like, how was that? Like, you know, you seemed a bit gobsmacked at times during the cast, as we all were, so I'm sure that was hard for you to sort of just keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, just to try and take stock check of what's going on at all moments in the game. I've never seen Pensonet struggle this much at home, right? The fact that Chiefs have thrown in this curveball. You heard from Charlie, their coach. We weren't too sure what to make of this Tryndamere, but I just love it when you put together something a little bit different. Your opponent's not ready for it. It just pops off beautifully there. You know, as much as I was harping on about how well Chiefs are playing, it was just really cool to see that, you know, you can make something like this work. You don't have to, quote unquote, stick to the meta.
Well, someone that loves meta and someone that we love in general is Juves. Let's bring him back into the conversation. Thoughts, Mr. Shortman, over on the far side?
Why am I shrinking? I'm not changing anything. I'm getting annoyed.
You're slouching.
But, no, I'm not, man. Posture, look at that, dude.
Oh, huge. Stay like that.
Oh, okay. No, I think like let's call a spade a spade. That was as my old friend used to say, Mr. Spawn. Some of you might know him.
Yeah.
That was
Love
a
you, Jack.
shellacking.
Yep.
That was a shellacking. There's no two ways about it. Like it literally wasn't close. Chiefs looked that good, and you can't say it was Pentanet playing bad. Like
Yeah.
Chiefs played really well. And the interesting thing that they did was they put Tryndamere topside. Swaith played off that. They knew it would be 3 dives at level 6. Combined with the Everland pick, it was actually a well thought out and constructed game plan. And I wouldn't have expected anything less coming out of the man Kuden, who we get all the good info from during those interviews.
We didn't even get to hear from him at the start, so we don't know what was going through their minds. I'm sure we would have got some lovely insight. But look, just before the interview's ready, we're going to change things around a bit. We're going to do the DoorDash player that delivered first. Do you guys know who it is?
Yeah.
I think I do.
You do? Ah, all right. Well, no surprises here. It is Swaith. There you go. He's done it as the jungler. 94% kill participation. Is that the highest we've seen? I dare say it is. 18 kills he was participating in here with some ridiculous KD. Was that? Is it an 18 KD? I guess it is. Only one death there as well. 31% damage share as an Eve. And look, when I saw the Eve locked in, I was, you know, a little cautious of saying, oh, I don't know if that's a mistake or not. But then finding out it was, you know, one of his favorite champs to play from Rusty, I was like, well, you know, let's see how this goes. And whoa, here's $100 for DoorDash. You know, beautiful. Good job, Swaith. Rusty. 6 wards placed, though. Is that enough? Is that?
I mean, they won the game, Mac. What more can we say? As much as I want to delve into the negatives of people need to place more wards, you can't fault the guy. Yeah, again, 10-stack Dark Seal player. I think we give a pass to a lot of those champions.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, Juice, have you played much Eve in the jungle?
Yeah, I have actually. I do like Eve, and I think Eve's one of those champions that gets hyped up as broken because there's only Eve players that play it. Right? Like if just your normal person tried playing Eve that doesn't play it, they have a bit of a shambles of a game. Whereas like Swaith has made this champ look absolutely broken, whereas I don't necessarily think it's like, especially in competitive, busted.
Same with Trend, right?
Yeah, same with Trend.
Well, something that has not been busted today is your interviews. They've been on point, and I think it's time for another.
Yes, it is. It is definitely time for another. And I've got Draku here, my good old pal, Draku. How are you, buddy?
Feel good.
Yeah, feel good. It was a good performance. What did? Nah, it's alright. I was just asking how you were. I was gonna ask the next question. The next question would be like, how do you feel after a game like that? That's a big win. I mean, the analyst is like, not me, so don't watch the VOD.
But doesn't even matter. Like, I just feel like. Wait, can you hear me?
But yeah, I can. It's just a little bit delayed.
Okay,
that's why we're doing this.
I think that the win doesn't even mean much. I just like seeing that my team's improving and our team play is getting better. Because PGG is definitely probably the best team play. Like the best at team play. And to see that we're able to match that now compared to Split 1, I think it's really good moving forward. That yeah, we can take this thing now. Like everyone's so confident, and thanks to Daddy Swaith today, he just 1v5'd. So
now, yeah, that's true. He definitely did. But now, stop making me laugh.
Stop.
We're Split 1 Draku to now. What's the biggest difference? Because you're playing a lot better.
The biggest difference is I guess I regained my confidence. I trust my team a lot more now. In Split 1, we kind of like plateaued because everyone had some arguments here and there, and we all wanted to be the carry. But now in Split 2, we all know our like roles, and I've definitely gotten a lot more comfortable on stage. So like I'm pretty much playing with no fear.
No fear, huh? That's a scary man. If a man with no fear is a scary man. Now. So you said, and just to touch on it, that there was a little bit of arguments maybe on the best way to play the game. How did that resolve? Is that something coming from Kuden? Is Kuden the man that has the communication that's able to sort those problems out? Like, how has this kind of moved forward, and where have you guys kind of found the success in that sense?
All I'm going to say is that all the haters out there who hate on Kuden, like, you're stupid. Kuden is probably the best coach I've ever had.
and he is smurfing it every day. I don't think he's taken a single break off. He's just watching VODs constantly, and he's making the team environment really good. But I guess everyone also like reflected on what went wrong split 1, and like I guess like everyone just put a lot more effort in, and yeah, we're just all working on our weaknesses.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for the Chiefs. Fantastic win. Enjoy it. Go grind 1,000 more games of solo queue because you deserve that win. And thanks again, Draku.
Wait. Do you like my dog? Do you like my dog on my bed? Like, look, it was
I like your
it was just
biceps
like chilling.
more
It was just chilling here. It was just chilling here.
We gotta head out. We gotta head out.
That's a man that's happy with a victory.
I did not lead the interview there. Let me just say that. if I'm gonna get any feedback for that interview and how that ended, I will quit.
Okay.
That was not up. So again, if I'm not here, then obviously they didn't want me here. But,
Where did the dog go?
Move on, Mag. Move on.
Moving
mate.
on. All right.
Let's
So
go.
we do have a play of the day, and it wasn't the end of that interview. Of course, it was from the Chiefs. And I wrote down here because apparently a lot of stuff happened in it. It was some good fight with lots of ultimates, and I think it was one closer towards the end of the game. So let's bring that up. I'm moving on. Here's the move on. Jubes, keep talking. Do your thing.
Oh, we'll have to just observe what happens here.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Rel Ezreal combo.
Writing the notes down, yep.
Yep, writing notes.
Liv slays them all.
Me out, auto attacking you very well. Nice clicks there on the mouse button. Yep, yep, A click, perfect. Okay, so we got Swayth here, just looking a little bit sneaky beaky like on that Evelyn. Comes in for the one shot, gets absolutely exhausted. Draku absolutely bench presses, deadlifts and squats. Don't mind if you do. 3 members there on the Rel. And then Liv comes in, absolute mechanics max on the Tryndamere. Just auto attacking, going a bit of a and just the Undying Rage coming on. Is it Undying Rage?
Yes.
Yeah. So not a bad little skirmy, not a bad little team fight coming out there from the Chiefs.
You took
I
all
like how
those
halfway
notes.
through that clip, Mac, producer Phil's and I like, yeah, bring it back, cut him off.
Get him out here. Go on, take him away. He's already bloody done so much tonight. Anyway, you know, Nat T, you've done a great job there. You sounded exactly like Jubes tonight. So I think you're really starting to, you know, grow and learn from the Juvenator himself.
They call me Groovy Juvie.
Do they?
No, that's what I call myself, so you gotta...
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Groovy Juvie. Standings. Let's go to the standings. All right, it's a good time to have a look at where we are and the crazy way. Take a screenshot because I don't know how long this is going to last or if it will continue this way or if Mammoth are going to end up winning the rest of their games for the split and then being at the top because who knows which bloody way this is going to go after all the crazy action we've seen in the first 3 weeks here in the DoorDash LCO. But the Chiefs are on top, 5-1. Peace, Pentanet, and Order, all 4-2 at the moment. Gravitas in 5th above Direwolves with 3-3. Direwolves tied with Legacy on 2-4. Legacy, who is 6th, beat Peace, who is 2nd. Mammoth, 0-6. Looking to go for the 007. Call them James Bond, maybe. We'll see how that goes next week. But Rusty, please, thoughts?
Here is a list of the teams that I have currently in their correct positions based off my preseason power ranking.
Yeah.
That was my list of the teams that I have currently in their correct positions. I already said it. None. Literally none. I have all of this wrong.
All right.
It's actually unbelievable. Peace as well in the future, like the way they're currently playing may even drop further. And it's just like, I'm so confused. I'm so impressed. I'm also so just lost with some of our good teams. But I also don't know if I should be happy for the worst teams that have risen up and have improved, or if I should feel sad for the top teams that are clearly not playing to what we thought they were. It's a confusing time.
Well, I copied Dragku's list for the tier list or the predictions for where everyone's going to be. So, I don't know. His was upside down. I'm pretty upside down. Something that's not upside down is next week. It's not even here yet. So, I don't even... It could be upside down. I'm not going to make judgments. I'm not that kind of person. But let's have a look at the games anyway. 6 p.m. Legacy and Mammoth going to be going head-to-head to kick things off. 7 p.m. The Chiefs and Direwolves having a little bit of a rematch here. You know, Direwolves, they're still looking to find their feet. Maybe they're getting back into to their form, I guess we'll see next week. 8 PM, you got Pentanet and Gravitas. Now, this will be the true test because Gravitas are only 1 win less now than Pentanet, and they are loving the upset city that they're currently residing in. And then at 9 PM, you got Order and Peace, who are looking to break up the table a little bit, 4 and 2 apiece. So one will edge higher than the other by the end of the night. So I guess, Skimmy, what is your game of that day?
The last two are where I'm looking at right now. I think Gravitas can continue to mount this assault and showcase that they are better than where they've been placed, in recent times. They're really looking to be like the new dark horse. I look at Order in particular, and they've mentioned that, especially from what Kevin mentioned today, he hates the fact that people just put Order as a team by default in 5th position. I think if they can take a victory away from Peace, then it continues this idea that, what was Split 1 and so sure and so confirmed, it's just completely out the window. Chuck away your notes because Split 2 is a whole new can of worms.
Well, Split 2, speaking of, we've got the first rotation. That's going to be ending on day 7 of games. So that means it gets into rematch territory and people can change up what they did the first time, show what they've learned, show the improvement or the not improvement. I don't even know what we're talking about at this point. I just know that it was so much entertainment. Now it's time to end the show. But before then, Jubes, thank you very much for stepping into the shoes of Nat T. You've done a very good job with the interviews this evening, and I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Any final words for anyone here?
I thought Jubes was going to... No, I've got nothing.
Oh, I'll be honest, I've been talking too much. I really did think that I was going to get in trouble for talking too much, so I didn't want to talk.
Relatable, dude. I've been coughing mid-game, so surely Skimmy's got something to say.
Oh, I say so much at the time. I don't know. I'm really excited. I mean, we had this conversation, Rusty, right, off stream about how it's just so hard to predict anymore. Yes, the initial weeks we were like, it's definitively going to be this team, then it's this team. Then we had a few upsets, and you start to say, okay, what does everything mean? What is life? It's just continued. It's really continued. Week number 4, it's just around the corner. I have no idea what to think.
You know what I will say? Yeah, I will say that most people don't understand the effort that coaches put in, and Dragku may say that people laugh at Kuden or discredit Kuden, but most coaches get no credit, right? And it's the responsibility of the players to prop them up. So I actually wanted to say thank you to Dragku for that case being made for Kuden, because that was actually a really inspiring thing to listen to, and it was very warming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of week 3. Before we go, we do have some very, very sick content. And look, I just want to say I'm bewildered. I'm confused. I don't even know where we're going to be heading. We have 2 more, I guess 14 more games, 15 more games? 15 more games left in Split 2. And I have no idea how it's going to look. But to end off the day, it is going to be part 2 of the Pentanet interviewing themselves. So enjoy this, and we will see you all next week. Thanks for watching.
What is it like laning with Praedyth?
Well, on scrims, he ints quite a bit, I wouldn't want to call him out too much, but it's fun. He's got good banter, talks a lot of shit, gets a lot of hate, which is kind of warranted,
What's this got to do with this laning? This is not laning shit.
No,
I feel like you're compensating for how shit of a laning. Yeah, nah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy for sure.
But on stage, he pulls it back and shows up, so
sick.
Appreciate that.
Is that what you got to say about him?
Yeah.
You're a shit of support.
Who was worse to play with, me or Praedyth?
Mark ints the fuck out of some games like really badly, there was one time in scrims.
Oh.
Right,
Okay.
can you say this part? He already knows what I'm gonna say because I bring it up all the time.
So there's one time in scrims where you didn't dodge a Jinx W. Is that one, right? Yeah. So this freak, I don't dodge one Jinx W, and he cannot let it go. That's your prerogative.
He didn't start moving and then still get hit because he was slow. He got hit and then started moving. So he is so terrible. I can't ever let that go. Like at the end of the day, Praedyth ints games like this guy's.
Didn't dodge us one Jinx W, one time.
A little bit
One
trash.
time.
He's a little bit trash. How does it feel to have half the Twitter followers of everyone else in the team?
Honestly, these guys care a bit too much about clout, so I'll let them have the moment. You know, I wasn't too active on Twitter. I don't care too much about it, so okay, if this guy has 6,000 followers, I got 2,000. I don't care. It is what it is.
Anyways.
Dragon, knowing that if they recalled it would be a losing situation regardless, so they at least have to remove the option for. Oh my god! Okay.
Hang on a minute. Sybil just does not care. He's a man on a mission right now. 1v5,
Okay.
trying to jump on through. Receives the Wild Grove, knocks everybody up, survives the tail-to-tail. Incosia once again. These stopwatches are on point. Finds a reset angle and can look to try and cycle for those cooldowns to try and jump back in once more. He's got himself a double kill.
Winning.
Now Stahl getting himself onto the score sheet. A Baron, a 2-lane Dragon. Forget about it. They might just end the game at 23 minutes. This Cogmore, so be just a fraction more durable. Has the flash, has the heal, has the ability to try and run down members like this, but might just die for free. Oh no, the Wild Growth, and it overlaps there. With the stopwatch, he's just easy picking. He might just die. He certainly does. The Ignite 6 him down and just needs to shut that hit. This insane instead. The block that gets himself a double kill. The carries the Gravitas, pick it apart. Members of Mammoth are just falling one by one. Goodo from start to finish tries to continue to be the saving grace. On a 1v9 show, they're going to chuck him in. Beats looking to lock in place a key target. Turn their attention now on towards Claire. He's locked in place, forced to dash away. But in a 3-man moonfall, and it's just lights out for Direwolves, just like that. Kevy finds a double. It's a double also for Puma. And Maximize says, I can't let the rest of your team have all the fun. I need to get myself a kill as well. Another ultimate, another kill. 3 times. Definite niche, but Liv is looking to try and showcase what it can do. He's got the ultimate, the Endless Rage could be there to try and keep him topped up and healthy as he gets low and he's dying. There it is, Undying and flashing forward to try and get the killing blow. Spin to win, tops himself up, sidesteps the bomb.